"Mo, ma'am, that'll be $12, $50 for the 3 carnitas tacos and a horchata," I said, barely looking up from the cash register as the lunch rush at Miguel's taco shop reached its peak. The woman in front of me wore oversized sunglasses and a simple baseball cap. Nothing fancy, just another customer trying to beat the heat on this scorching Tuesday afternoon in Venice Beach. She handed me exact change with a warm smile that somehow felt familiar, though I couldn't place where I might have seen it before. "Thank you so much," she said, her voice carrying a hint of that distinctive rasp that made me pause for just a second. But the line behind her was growing longer, and my manager Carlos was giving me that look that meant, "Keep it moving, David." Yedileptans. If this story is already making you curious about what happens next, please help me with a like and subscribe. I'm working so hard to build this channel with love, and I'm trying to reach my first 100 subscribers. You could be one of the first to join me on this incredible journey, and I promise you won't regret it. Your support means everything to me right now. I had been working at Miguel's for 8 months, saving every penny for film school while living in a cramped studio apartment 3 blocks from the beach. At 22, I thought I knew everyone worth knowing in this neighborhood. The regulars who came for their morning coffee, the tourists who always ordered too much, the local artists who paid in crumpled bills. But this woman was different. She moved with a quiet confidence that seemed almost out of place in our humble taco joint. She found a small table by the window, removed her sunglasses, and suddenly the afternoon light caught her face in a way that made my heart skip. Those eyes, intelligent, expressive, with tiny lines that spoke of decades of laughter and tears. I had seen those eyes before, but where? "David, wines leche," Carlos called from the kitchen. "Table 6 needs more salsa verde." I grabbed the bottle and walked over, trying not to stare as she took her first bite of the carnitas taco. Her face lit up with genuine pleasure, not the polite smile tourists usually gave, but real appreciation. "This is incredible," she said, looking up at me. "I've been searching for authentic Mexican food like this for weeks. Most places in this area are so touristy." "Miguel makes everything from scratch," I replied, feeling oddly nervous under her gaze. "His grandmother's recipes from Guadalajara. Been in his family for 3 generations." She nodded appreciatively. "You can taste the love in it. That's rare these days. Did you subscribe yet? Help me reach those first 100 subscribers. I'm getting so close, and every single one matters." As the lunch rush died down, I found myself stealing glances at her table. She ate slowly, savoring each bite while reading what looked like a script. Occasionally, she'd make notes in the margins with a red pen, completely absorbed in her work. There was something almost regal about the way she carried herself, even in this casual setting. "She's been coming in every Tuesday for 3 weeks now," whispered Maria, our other server, as she passed by with a tray of dirty dishes. "Always orders the same thing, always sits at that exact table. Carlos thinks she's some kind of writer or something." "A writer?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Look at her, the way she reads, takes notes. Plus, she tips really well. 20% every time. Most writers I know are broke, but maybe she's successful or something." Around 2:30, when the restaurant had mostly emptied out, she approached the counter where I was wiping down surfaces. "Excuse me," she said. "I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you an actor?" The question caught me completely off guard. "What?" "No, I mean, I want to be. I'm saving up for film school, actually. How did you—" She smiled, that same warm, familiar smile. "You have very expressive eyes, and the way you carry yourself, there's a natural presence there. Have you done any acting at all?" I felt my cheeks burning. "Just high school theater and some community college classes. Nothing serious." "Nothing serious?" She laughed, a rich sound that filled the empty restaurant. "Theater is the foundation of everything, honey. Don't downplay that." The way she said, "honey," sent a strange flutter through my chest. It wasn't condescending or flirtatious, just warm, maternal almost, but from someone who couldn't have been more than 20 years older than me. I actually work in the industry, she continued, pulling out a business card. Well, I have been for, let's just say, a very long time. If you're serious about pursuing this, I might know some people who could help. I stared at the card in disbelief. It was simple, elegant. Susan Sarandon, followed by her agent's contact information. Susan Sarandon. Susan fucking Sarandon had been eating tacos at Miguel's taco shop every Tuesday for 3 weeks, and I had been treating her like just another customer. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now's the perfect time. I'm so close to 100 subscribers, and sharing this journey with you means the world to me. Oh my God, I whispered, probably louder than I intended. You're Susan Sarandon. She laughed again, that same infectious sound. Guilty as charged, though I was rather enjoying being just another customer. It's been refreshingly normal. My mind raced through every interaction we'd had. Had I been rude, professional? I tried to remember if I'd done anything embarrassing, but honestly, everything felt like a blur now. I'm so sorry, I stammered. I should have recognized you. I mean, I love your movies. Thelma and Louise is literally one of my favorite films ever made, and Dead Man Walking, she held up a hand, still smiling. David, right? Don't apologize. This is exactly why I keep coming back here. You treated me like a person, not like a celebrity. That's become pretty rare in my world. Carlos emerged from the kitchen, took one look at the business card in my hand, then at Susan, and his eyes went wide. Dios mío, he muttered under his breath. Mr. Miguel, Susan said, standing to shake his hand, your carnitas are absolutely divine. I've been telling everyone in my yoga class about this place. Carlos beamed with pride, his English suddenly more formal. Miss Sarandon, it is our honor. Please, you must try the mole next week. Is my abuela's secret recipe. Over the next hour, as the restaurant prepared for the dinner shift, Susan stayed and talked with us. She asked Carlos about his family, his journey from Mexico, the challenges of running a small business in an increasingly gentrified neighborhood. She listened, really listened, in a way that made both Carlos and me feel like the most interesting people in the world. You know, she said, turning back to me as she prepared to leave, I'm producing a small independent film next month. It's about working-class families in Los Angeles, the kind of stories that don't usually get told in Hollywood. We're still looking for a few background actors, maybe some small speaking parts. My heart pounded so hard I was sure she could hear it. Are you serious? Dead serious. It doesn't pay much, union minimum, but it could be good experience for you, and who knows, sometimes these small projects lead to bigger opportunities. She pulled out a pen and wrote something on the back of a receipt. This is my assistant's number. Call her tomorrow. Mention my name, and she'll get you the details about auditions. I stared at the piece of paper like it was made of gold. I don't know how to thank you. Thank me by being prepared. Learn your lines, show up on time, and bring that natural presence I saw in you today. She paused, studying my face with those remarkable eyes. And, David, don't let anyone tell you that dreams are just dreams. I started out waiting tables too, you know. As she headed toward the door, she turned back one more time. Oh, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Same table, same order. I still have half that script to finish, and honestly, your carnitas have become essential to my creative process. After she left, Carlos and I stood in stunned silence for several minutes. The restaurant felt different somehow, charged with possibility. You know what this means? Carlos finally said, grinning from ear to ear. Susan Sarandon thinks our food is so good she uses it for inspiration. Wait until I tell my wife. I called Susan's assistant the next morning, my hands shaking as I dialed. The audition was scheduled for the following week, just a few lines as a young waiter in a diner scene. But it might as well have been the lead role in a major studio film for how excited I was. The following Tuesday, Susan returned as promised, baseball cap and sunglasses in place, ordering her usual carnitas tacos and horchata. But this time, when I brought her food to the table, she winked. "Break a leg tomorrow," she said quietly, "and remember, you belong there just as much as anyone else." The audition went better than I could have hoped. The director, a friend of Susan's, was warm and encouraging, and I landed not just the small waiter role, but a recurring part as the main character's younger brother. It wasn't much, maybe 15 minutes of screen time total, but it was a start. 3 months later, at the film's small premiere at a theater in West Hollywood, I found myself standing next to Susan on the red carpet, not as her guest, but as a member of the cast, wearing my first real suit and trying not to gawk at the other actors and industry professionals milling around. "How does it feel?" she asked, appearing at my elbow as photographers snapped pictures. "Surreal," I admitted. 6 months ago, I was just a guy who made tacos. Now I'm here because Susan Sarandon discovered me at work. She laughed, that same rich sound I'd first heard at Miguel's. "No, honey, you were always an actor. You just needed someone to see it." She paused, looking at me with something like pride. "And you needed to see it in yourself." The film did well on the festival circuit, earning several small awards and, more importantly, opening doors for several of us in the cast. I booked 2 more independent films over the next year, finally saved enough for film school, and even managed to move out of my studio apartment. But every Tuesday, when my schedule allowed, I still stopped by Miguel's taco shop. Sometimes Susan was there, sometimes she wasn't, but Carlos always asked about her, and we'd share stories about the day our little restaurant hosted Hollywood royalty. "You know what the best part is?" Carlos said one Tuesday as we watched Susan through the window, script in hand, completely absorbed in her work. "She never acts like she's doing us a favor by coming here. She acts like we're doing her a favor by letting her stay." And maybe that's the real lesson I learned that day. Not about networking or seizing opportunities, though those things matter too. It's about seeing people for who they truly are, whether they're serving you tacos or accepting Academy Awards. Susan Sarandon could eat anywhere in Los Angeles, but she chose Miguel's because we treated her like a person first, and she returned the favor by treating us the same way. That small kindness, that basic human recognition, changed my life forever. And sometimes, on quiet Tuesday afternoons, when the lunch rush dies down and the light streams through the windows just right, I remember that magic can happen anywhere, even over carnitas tacos and horchata, when you least expect it. What would you have done in my situation? Have you ever met a celebrity without realizing it? Share your stories in the comments below. I love reading them, and who knows, maybe your story will inspire my next video.